Welcome! This walkthrough demonstrates the dynamic HTML cards application for the DNA UX platform, a DNA app that lets financial institutions display custom HTML content inside the interface without additional app development. For institutions running DNA UX, the application addresses a familiar operational gap: how to put context-aware content such as disclosures, internal workflows, regulatory notices, or other targeted messaging in front of users with live person or account data already populated. We'll go over a few technical requirements at the end of the demonstration. Before walking through any setup, let's start at the end state. This is a standard person view in DNA UX. Nothing custom about how it loads. The card below identification is a dynamic HTML card. The content, the layout, the wording, the styling is entirely defined by the institution. No platform release was needed to put it here, and the content isn't part of the app's code. Notice the account number updates in place as the account selection changes. The user ID, party number, and UAE are also live. Two mechanisms make this work: span IDs for values that refresh during the session, and curly brace tokens for values set once at page load. We'll see both when we author the card. Everything is rendered inside a sandboxed iframe, so scripts are isolated from the host platform. That's the destination. Now let's rewind and show how an administrator configured that card. We start with the configuration menu and access HTML card loader. Access to this page is controlled by a single authorization item: iux.html_card_loader. Assigned through the standard UX authorization profile. This way, it's easy to control who can modify the content. The layout is two panels. The left side is where we enter the HTML. The right side gives us a prettified view of our source code and a live rendered preview as we type. The document name is what tells the platform where the card will appear. It's two parts, a prefix and a number. 3 prefixes are configured by default: verify, accounts, and about, which is the Fiserv default for the recommendations view. We'll use verify for this demo. The preview shows verify 1. As soon as focus leaves the field, the system checks whether that name is already in use. Green check means it's available. If a document with that name already existed, we'd see an amber warning and the existing data would load into the editor so we could review and update as needed. There are 3 ways to get content into the editor: drag and drop, browse, or paste directly. First, we enter the HTML source into the editor. Watch the right panel as we do this. The formatted HTML appears on top, with a live preview underneath. The preview updates dynamically. Scripts are blocked in the preview for security, but everything else renders exactly as the end user will see it. Here's a span with an ID of person number. At runtime, the platform will inject the unmasked person number into that element and refresh it whenever the user switches accounts. And here's the user ID tag. That gets replaced with the logged-in employee's safe username when the page loads. The rule of thumb is span IDs for values that change mid-session, curly brace tokens for values fixed at page load. The title tag within HTML determines the title of the card when it's rendered on the screen. The loader validates the code as we type. A red error must be fixed before the Add Document button enables, allowing the user to save changes. Amber warnings, for example, if a script tag is detected, are advisory only and don't prevent the user from saving. After we save, the green banner confirms that the document was stored successfully, with a document type of HTML inside the UX platform's document store. At this point, the HTML is in the database, but card itself hasn't been placed on the page yet. That's the second half of the workflow. To do that, we open the Page Designer. This is the standard DNA UX tool for arranging cards within a view. It's not unique to this application, but we'll be using it to add our new card. We're working on the Verify view because we named our document Verify 1. The naming convention is what binds the specific document we created to the view, so there's no extra mapping steps. The easiest way to add a new card is to duplicate an existing one and change its type. We right-click and select Duplicate, and Copy appears. We then position it wherever we want, in this case, directly under the existing identification card. Then, we change the type to Dynamic HTML card. Notice that we don't have to tell it which document we want to display, since the card looks at the view it's in and finds Verify 1 automatically. If we placed a second Dynamic HTML card in this same view, that one would look for a document called Verify 2. When we're done editing the view, we click the Save button. 2 operational notes before we see the result. First, for the new card layout to take effect across the platform, the institution needs to log out and run an IIS reset. Second, once the reset completes and we log back in, the card is live for every user who lands on this view. Finally, we're back to where we started. The dynamic HTML card appears below identification with live data populated. To recap, we authored and deployed a card containing live customer and account data, end-to-end, without compiling any new code. We did not submit anything for validation, schedule a deployment window, or wait on vendors. The same workflow applies to edits and deletions. The content loader has update document and delete document actions for removing existing materials. Removing a card from a view is a simple process through Page Designer and is entirely separate from deleting the document itself. The institution controls the content, the platform handles the rendering and live data binding, and the sandboxed iframe keeps the host application isolated from DNA UX itself, providing a convenient, secure solution. Prometheus Financial Solutions is the largest independent app market developer, supporting regional banks and credit unions using Fiserv DNA. This application is available for download on the Fiserv app market. Thank you again for watching this video. If you'd like more information or have any further questions, please email us at dnaappsupport@prometheusfs.com.